As we sit here tonight, we call upon the sacred light of Source, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. We call upon our spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, light beings, and galactic guides, our ancestors, nature spirits, and animal guides. We invite in Archangel Michael, Nesimha, and Hanuman, the energy of Phi, and the sacred spider to weave its web of sacred geometry around our space for protection. We also call upon Ganesh to open the path, and Thoth, the keeper of wisdom and time, to open the gates to the Akashic records so that when we download knowledge. Spirit guides, as we sit here tonight in the sacred space, we call upon the energy of Mary Magdalene and the divine feminine. We ask, Mary, that you allow us to download knowledge for ourselves and also for the collective. Please share with us any insights that you can give us for our healing, any knowledge that you wish to bring to light, any love and guidance that you wish to share as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, the sacred circle is now open. Namaste. On my right-hand side near my ear. And I'm in a forest, but in like a clearing on the right-hand side. And there's this woman, blonde woman, wearing a white dress, very simple white dress. No jewelry, no makeup, just like a really natural look. And the wind is blowing, and I'm seeing some leaves. It feels like it's autumn. The leaves are kind of golden brown. And she's looking to the right. She has her head turned and looking to the right. And then all of a sudden, this wolf came up to her. And the wolf, like his teeth are bloody, and it feels like maybe he just was eating or attacked something. And I almost got the impression that maybe he was coming after her, but I actually feel like it's a companion of hers. I can feel his energy like very aggressive. But even though he's coming towards her and with this bloody mouth and this aggressive energy, she's still very peaceful. And I can't quite tell if like if this is a protector of hers or they're two, they both live here, but this wolf, they kind of mind their own space. And I'm seeing him now, he's turning around and he's leaving. And now I'm seeing this little child. There was a girl and now there's a boy. The girl's maybe 4 and the boy is just a baby, I would say 1 year old. And the girl is picking wildflowers in the forest, and this boy is next to her. And I can see this mother figure standing over them. And I feel like she has another baby on her hip, um, a girl, and she's wearing this really cute white bonnet. And I feel like there's flowers like right on the rim of the bonnet. I feel like this woman who came to me in the beginning is showing me her life as a child. They feel very peaceful. I'm feeling an energy behind them that's a little bit different. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to sit with this for a minute and see what else I get. That's all for now. So now I'm in this Egyptian temple, and I've been in this space before in other journeys, and it's lit really softly with a candle, and I can see hieroglyphs all over the walls. And there's a door a few feet in front of me, so I'm walking through the door, and I push it open, and there's a woman standing to the right, and to the left, there's a pool of water. And the woman says to me, "Come, child, let me bless you." And so I walked over to her, and she put her finger on my third eye with holy water, and then yeah, and she made the cross, and then she pushed me into the water. And it's interesting because, like I said, I've been to this whole space before, and I've been in the water before. And last time it was an initiation to work with her and to work with her knowledge. And so I feel like this is happening again for all of us. And the water is cold. It's definitely not warm. And she's saying to me, just float and you will know. So again, I'm going to sit here and see what I can receive from the water and from her. And that's all for now. If anyone's get anything, don't be afraid to share. Like I said, even something small can be very significant. So I'll keep going with the what I'm seeing in the Egyptian chamber. So I was floating in the water, and then all of a sudden, my awareness went to under the water. And it's interesting because it felt as if someone was almost like holding me under the water, but nobody was. And under the water, I could tell there was like a brownish tint to the water. And I started really struggling and screaming, and I could see like the bubbles coming from my mouth as I was screaming, and it was like I was fighting something. And then all of a sudden, this black, it's not quite a cloud, but like this black energy rose up from my body out of the water, and it went onto the side of the pool on the concrete. And it's interesting. It was like it felt like it was a fish skin, but it was really thick. So it was like in between like fish skin and like a scuba suit or something like that kind of texture and density wise, but smooth, really, really glossy and smooth. But like I said, thick and dense. And as soon as that came out, I like shot out of the water and sat up. And as I did that, the woman looked at me, and I feel like this woman definitely is Mary Magdalene. She looked at me, and then I could see directly in front of me, again, maybe 100 feet or so, a door opened, and there was no door before. This door just appeared and opened. So I got out of the pool of water and I walked to the door, and immediately I stepped onto sand, and I'm on this beach. And again, it's interesting because I feel like I've been here before to this space. And she's telling me that this is her space of sacred knowledge. And as soon as I step onto the beach, I can hear the door close, and I turn around, and whatever structure was there, if it was a pyramid or whatever it was, just sank into the sand and disappeared. So this is definitely a secret space, a secret chamber somewhere on Earth. And what's interesting actually as I say that is I say on Earth, right? But I also feel like this space that I just stepped into, and even the space before, it's like a space in between or something, because I don't feel like it's really firmly in this third dimensional realm. I feel like this is some other realm of higher existence, whether it exists here on Earth and we're just tapping into it. Yeah. But I'm on this beach, and I can see there's an ocean in front of me, and it's very quiet and still and peaceful. And again, I can feel the wind blowing. I feel like there's something significant about the wind in this journey as I was feeling it in the beginning. I'm gonna sit with this and see what else I can get from this scene. That's all for now.
While you were still talking in the beginning, I heard the numbers 7431. I had a tingling in my chest, stomach, and arms. Sometime after that, I saw the color lavender, which made me smile really big. And then I was really emotional after that. I saw a gold staircase that I was walking up, but I was looking back, hesitating to go forward. And the same lady that always comes to me every time like I try to meditate is telling me to keep going. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you. That's beautiful. You know, something that's wild is as you started to say the numbers, um, I wrote down 7 and I literally knew the numbers before you said them. That's never happened to me before. It's very odd.
Yeah, I receive numbers in my dreams a lot. I still yet to know what they mean, but they will replay and replay and replay and replay in my head until I wake up and write them down.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. I don't know what it is, but the gold staircase feels very important.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. So it's a first for me.
Hmm. I feel like it has goddess energy, and I can actually see this goddess walking up again in this really thin white dress.
Yeah, it was a white dress. And the lady that comes to me is always in white,
Hmm.
which trying to figure that out before today, I feel like it may be a future me, but I haven't quite narrowed that down yet.
I'm still on the beach, and I looked to my right, and I saw this old woman hunched over in the sand, and she looked at me and she motioned me to come forward. So I went over to her. And it's very curious because she's she's this old kind of typical witch that you would see, or I don't know, witch or gypsy, something like that. But she has white hair, very thin, old, big nose, typical raggedy witch. And it's interesting too because I feel like I can't see her full body. Like I'm just seeing her from like the waist up and her hands and everything. And there's a book, a really thick book that's locked, that's buried in the sand. And I'm seeing this witch like pull out a snake from the sand and like whip it around. And I feel like she put some kind of curse or some kind of spell, or she did something energetically with this book to keep it locked. And like I said earlier, it's interesting because I have definitely been in that I've been at this beach before, through a different way, but I've been here before. And in that journey, Mary Magdalene actually showed me that she buried a book in the sand. So I feel like this witch or whoever she is knows about it and did some kind of, like I said, energy work or spell to keep it buried. And I can even, like, as I speak, like, I can feel the energy of this woman. Like, even my body right now is like, all of a sudden, I notice that I'm just like hunched over and very constricted. Like, usually I'm sitting up with open energy, and now I'm just like really, my body's very tight. And I'm really, 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 really cold. I'm seeing these men behind her, so I'm gonna sit with them for a second and see what they have to share. And that's all for now. I'm seeing something really, really, really beautiful. And I feel like this is a collective task and not just individual. So I want to share what I'm seeing. And then if you ladies would like to join in, please feel free to do so, just for a moment. And then maybe like 30 seconds we can take. And then After that 30 seconds, I can share the rest of what I'm seeing. But the important thing is I said to Mary Magdalene, how can we open this book? You know, if it's if there's some kind of spell or curse or something on it, you know, how can we as a collective open that to receive your knowledge? And she showed me with all of us sitting in a circle, us here tonight, and I also feel like it's for anybody who listens to this to take a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath, exhale softly, and with our eyes still closed, meditate, visualize the book, and collectively ask it to be opened. So again, I'm just gonna pause for about 30 seconds. If you ladies want to join in and do this with me, please feel free. I think it's a beautiful thing to do. So we'll start now. Just take a nice deep breath and meditate on the book opening. Thank you to anyone who joined in that moment. So what I was seeing as the book was opening is I was actually hearing it first as if like you could hear all these different locks and mechanisms opening and moving and clinking around. And then I saw the book open, and from the middle of the book, a pink rose started to grow up and up and up and up and up, and maybe a few feet up. And then I started to see the vines and the leaves growing out to the sides of the pages. And as the rose was growing, there was golden light above it that started moving and connecting all the way up, 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 up in the sky. And then as the rose kept growing and growing and growing, I literally saw her, Mary, in some energetic form, start to come out of the book from the top of her head. I slowly am seeing her start to come out. And again, I feel like it's her energy because I'm seeing it, but she feels transparent. Like she's not in like a really dense human form anymore. She's just energy. And her energy is rising. And again, I'm going to sit with this for a second and see what else comes forth, but that's all for now. One other thing I want to say about this version of Mary that's coming out of the book is it feels like a statue. Like if you were to go into a church or a store and like buy a statue of her, it feels like that. Again, I'm not seeing it as a dense energy. I'm seeing it more energetic, like, but as she came out, you know, I expected her to be um this like human version, but she's, yeah, it's a statue. And I actually can see the the version of her that I was seeing in this Egyptian temple when I was in the water, she, again, it was more energetic form, but she was moving and speaking and um, had this alive energy to her. And that version of her is standing to my right in this scene on the beach next to the book. So as I'm seeing this statue version of her coming out of the book, what I'm feeling is that this version of her is the idealized version of her that is described in the Bible. And I feel like this energy is somehow is being lifted out of the book almost as a clearing to kind of clear that stagnant. It feels again like statue, like it doesn't feel alive. It doesn't feel um how to describe this. It pretty much, yeah, it just doesn't feel like it feels stuck. It feels like her energy was just stuck in the statue and that's all she was. And now it's being released so that this other version of her, her true version, can come to light and come alive again. And I'm seeing her on the right, just smiling, just watching this whole thing happen. And so I looked at her and I said, so now what? Like the lock is off. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I saw like the lock of the book like completely rip out of the book and just fly away. Um, and so she just smiled at me and I said, oh yes, read the book. And so opened or turned to the first page and the first thing I got, it says, in the last kingdom, we were all one. I think that's really beautiful. Um, and I've just been sitting with the scene and saying to her, what else? And she's just smiling, and I feel like that's her way of saying just read, just be open to my knowledge and allow it to be free. And actually, as I say that, I'm starting to see the words from the page lift off the page in the wind and spiral. And it's as if like the wind is carrying her words to be dispersed. And she's coming over to me and she's whispering something in my ear. And I don't know what she's saying, but I actually, I per- personally, I don't know how to do this. It's something I've really wanted to learn. But she's speaking to me in light language. And again, I don't know what she's saying because I don't do light language. I think it's really beautiful and I would love to learn, but yeah, but she's speaking something into my ear in light language. So I feel like whatever it is might come into a dream. And this is not just for me, this is for all of us.
I keep getting, you've got this, whatever that means.
Beautiful. as soon as she whispered this light language into my ear, she put her hands in prayer post and kind of namaste um and she disappeared. But the book is still here with me. The witch figure is gone. She um went into the sand earlier. Um, but I'm just now sitting here on this beach with a book.
Can you read more from the book?
I can ask, sure. Okay. Let me see if I can read my writing. I did some automatic writing for this. Okay. So the first, again, just to read the first sentence. In the last kingdom, we were all one. Again, this is channeled, so it doesn't make sense, but it is what Spirit told me. In united we once were, standing tall together. We destroyed his army. They came, they left, but we held our light. Be brave, dear souls. The time is coming once more. With your head held high, we will bring the light. Divine union will be once again. That's what I got.
What's coming again?
Divine union will be once again. I'm starting to feel like I'm coming back into my body, but um, before we close, I want to say one more thing that I'm seeing. Amanda, I was looking at my notes again and curious about this gold staircase. So I asked, where does it lead? And they actually took me to a staircase in a cave. And the door is open and there's these long tables. And it's really funny because it actually feels very like pub-like. And I'm seeing these men and women sitting down. I think there's two or three long tables in this space. It's pretty narrow actually, the cave, this little cavern in the cave. And I'm trying to think what time period this is. Let me think. They're not really showing me a time period, but I'm thinking like later 1900s. Oh, sorry, early 1900s. But anyway, I'm seeing them like drinking pints of beer out of these wooden mugs, and it's very joyful, the energy here. Really, everyone's laughing and happy, and I kind of expected just to see women, but I'm actually seeing this one man in particular. He's balding, but he has a little bit of hair in the back, kind of short and stumpy, and he's wearing this ruffled white shirt and a vest, and he has these rosy cheeks and kind of stout nose. I'm not sure why he's coming forward right this second, but he's the one who caught my attention. He's kind of staring at me and watching me as I walk into the space. And I can tell there's some kind of like back area to this room or this cavern that, where they're storing all the food and drinks and everything. Um, it feels like a dense energy. I feel like I can't go through right this second. Um, and there's something going on in this cave. I don't know if they're not miners, which is interesting, but I feel like they're doing something with gold in the cave. And again, I don't feel like they're actually mining the gold or searching for it. I think they know where it is and they're using it for some kind of alchemical procedure. And now as I'm kind of like creeping back into the back wall to like see, can I see what's going on behind here? Um, I'm like abruptly pulled really quick back by this man, and he has me in his arms and he's covering my mouth and he's like, shh, like don't say anything. Um, so whatever I'm seeing, I feel like this man does not want me to be saying out loud or to be seeing it. And he has a knife in his left hand. Even though I'm seeing these women as like really, they're in the front where they're eating and drinking, like they feel very happy. And something about this, I don't know why it's really sticking out to me, but their cheeks are flushed, like really rosy, and not just the women, the men as well. And warm. I feel like their bodies are really, really warm. Um, and as I'm being pulled back into the cave, I can see to the right of me, there's like a door that's cracked open, and I'm seeing this woman in labor. She's pregnant, and I can see it's like she's laying on this kind of cot, metal cot with a little thin mattress, and she's wearing white and she's big belly and she's having contractions or going into labor or something. And I get the feeling that they're doing some kind of experiments back there. Spirit says bodily experiments. Um, but something feels really, really off about this space. Um, Something to do with suppression of women and definitely some kind of secret that's being kept here. And there's a man, there's some kind of doctor, like really tall, maybe 6 feet, thin, older. If anyone's ever seen Lost, it looks like Jack Shephard's father. Wearing scrubs and stethoscope and the whole thing, medical. Um, Scrubs with a white coat, and he sees me and he pokes like one eye kind of creepily out the door and looks at me and slowly pushes the door shut. And it's this thick, thick stone door with no handles. But he shuts it. I struggled to get free from this man, and I stepped into a bucket of water or something on the floor. But he's pointing the knife at me and he's saying, "Don't ever come back here again." And as soon as I turned around, I hit my head on something. It feels like there's some kind of staircase that's hidden because there's a slant, a slope that's going up with a wooden structure. And I can't, from the front, I couldn't see a staircase, but I feel like it's there somehow. But anyway, I hit my head on the wood and everything went black. And I feel like I'm out of that space now. I'm gonna sit for one more second and see if Spirit wants to say anything else. And also, if anyone has anything to share before we close, please do so now.
The only thing I wanted to share was I was very cold, kind of like shaking, quivering during this whole thing, which is odd for me.
Yeah, I've been real cold this whole journey too.
My feet are itching and I just like woke up. I'm in and out of sleep since you started this.
You said your feet are itchy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm cold too, especially my feet, but I think it's because it rained today.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing. If anyone else has anything to say, I'm going to close. Okay. Thank you, Spirit, for joining us here tonight. Thank you, Mary Magdalene, for stepping forward. Thank you for sharing your sacred knowledge. Thank you for the initiation, for allowing us to unlock your sacred book of knowledge, for downloading the information contained within the book. Thank you for giving us your love, your wisdom, and your grace. Thank you for all of the messages you shared here tonight. And as we move forward, please allow us to integrate your messages and to continue to understand what was shared here in this space tonight. Please allow us to understand this knowledge by synchronicities, messages, dreams, and any other way that you can send us your love and your light. Thank you for the light language. Allow us to deepen our knowledge of that and understand your words. And allow us to carry your words with the wind so that it may spread your truth, your love, and your light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, the sacred circle is now closed. Namaste.